What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, February 15th, and welcome back to the Jake Gagan Show. My name is Jake Gagan. I will be your host tonight. We have a special episode as we're going to be interviewing someone pretty big, huge platform in the crypto space, someone I've been following for quite some time, a professional hockey player who is out in Germany as of right now. That's why we're going live a little bit earlier than we usually do, and that is Zach Boychuk. But as always, let's go ahead and welcome everybody into the stream. We got Will Cook in here, Wendy Anders Cox is here, Ali's Educational, Steve the Canadian, Maydog, Cajun Crypto, and much more. We have about 20 people that are here and a lot more people that are going to be tuning in. So without further ado, let's welcome in our guest for this evening. He goes by the name of Zach Boychuk. We have Canadians in the house. Look at Steve. He is here. So let's welcome in a fellow Canadian, Zach Boychuk, to the Jake Gagan Show. Zach, thank you for joining me. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I've seen quite a few of your episodes, so it's good to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. I've been following your content for quite some time. You have a lot of good crypto plays, NFT plays. Obviously, you know, you're an athlete too, so we connect there. I played baseball for quite some time, but as I mentioned, you're out in Germany, right?
That's right. Yeah, Berlin. So it's a good place to live right now. And yeah, as for my crypto, it's been crazy trying to balance playing hockey and do crypto at the same time, but it's been fun.
I don't know how you do it, man. It's like crypto's a full-time job, and like obviously being a professional hockey player is a full-time job. But I want to start there too. You know, when did you first get into crypto? Is this something that's pretty new, or have you been in the crypto space for a little while?
No, I'm still like a complete noob. It's like almost a year now. I guess I got into it kind of right in May, like right before the semi-big crash happened where it went down quite a bit. But my dad sent me a little bit of Bitcoin and said, hey, hold on to this for 10 years and see what it's at. And then I saw more and more people talking about it. People were, you know, posting on Twitter meme coins and other random coins. And I just started buying some random stuff and lost a lot of money early on, but kind of figured out the game. So it's been fun.
Absolutely. And I got to give a quick shout out to Jake Crypto. 7 months in the YouTube membership. Shout out to my guy, Jake Crypto. Thank you for your support. Now, I want to ask about that. You said a little bit of Bitcoin. What's a little bit of Bitcoin that Pop sent over to you?
It was around like $1,200. Like it was him and my grandparents, they all sent it to all the grandkids, and my grandpa was fired up to buy Bitcoins and wanted to give it to all the grandkids. So that was kind of my introduction, and still got that sitting there, obviously. And now it's, but I got a lot more Ethereum and BNB right now.
Yeah, that's I mean, obviously it's like a lower barrier to entry, and I think it's like a psychological effect, because like you can buy like 0.1 Bitcoin, 0.2 Bitcoin, and it could turn into more, but it's like I feel like it's psychological. That's how I feel. It's like, oh, I can buy a full ETH, or I can buy partial Bitcoin. Like, let me buy some ETH. So out of the top three right there, BNB, ETH, and Bitcoin, how would you kind of stack them? Not in terms of your holdings, but more in terms of like what you're most bullish on in the future.
I think I'm a big Ethereum guy, just the way the NFTs are popping off. And like you said, it's a little bit easier to buy $3,200 to get an Ethereum as opposed to a full, you know, 40-some grand to get a Bitcoin. But obviously Bitcoin is the main one. It's going to be around for a long time, and it's going to be a good little competition for Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think.
Absolutely, it is, and I'm in the same boat. Like Ethereum is probably the token and just ecosystem that I'm most bullish on. We're seeing it take off with NFTs. You know, I'm starting to see more and more people accept ETH as payment. Like I saw some famous rappers say, hey, I'm no longer accepting cash as payment, like pay me in ETH. And I think it's smart. You know, if I ever have the opportunity to get paid in Ethereum, I'll take it, because at $3,000 or whatever it is now, right? Let's say you get paid $100, like that could turn into $300, $400 as Ethereum continues to go up. Now, we have about 14 likes. We have a professional hockey player in here. Let's go ahead. If you're in the stream, make sure to smash that like button so we can get more people in here to learn about Zach and his story. So new to crypto, just started in May. I got to ask, obviously you played in the NHL and over here, you're playing in Germany right now. What is the consensus with at least hockey players? I mean, is crypto even top of mind for a lot of these hockey players, or is this something that they're not really too interested in? Would you say like the majority of hockey players right now?
It seems to be getting more and more popular. I mean, I remember in like 2017, I had buddies that would be going in different cities trying to find Bitcoin ATMs, and I'd be like, "Well, like, what are you guys doing?" My financial advisor would always say like, "Stay away from Bitcoin. You don't know, it's the bubble." I'm kind of regretting that now, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think the last couple of years, especially, it's like you get a few like pockets of guys on the team, maybe two or three guys that are talking about it. And this year, I'd say over half of our team has a little bit of crypto and is at least talking about it, wanting to get NFTs, especially, and wanting to learn a little bit more, which is a good sign.
Yep, it's definitely becoming a little bit more mainstream. Obviously, you're in Germany right now. Over here in America, it's like you're starting to see crypto tokens and companies sponsor NBA teams, and I don't know about NHL teams, but definitely like NBA teams. They're sponsoring them. Crypto.com Arena is now the Staples Center Arena. It's becoming much more mainstream over here. If you were asked today from your team, right, the CEO and president of your team, they said, Zach, you have the opportunity to take half of your salary in cryptocurrency. Would you take it?
I think I would. Yeah, it's you see a lot more players doing it now. A lot of players in the NFL are taking it, especially for their sponsorship money. And for me, the way that crypto is nowadays, it's a lot easier to buy stuff with it. I booked a hotel the other day with some crypto. You can
Damn.
like get flights, gift cards. I think a lot of people are kind of going towards almost living like full time off their crypto, but it's still nice to have a little bit of cash. You're gonna need that. Um,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of houses you can buy with Bitcoin. There are some, but I think I think I would definitely take half my salary.
Very nice. And would you choose it in ETH? Would you kind of diversify, maybe Bitcoin, BNB, or would it be like, hey, I'll take half of it in? I don't even know what the currency is over there. What what
Yeah, we
what is
got
it in Germany?
euros over here.
Oh, euro.
We're in
Okay,
we're euros, so
I
yeah.
didn't know
For
that.
me, it's. I mean, I know how to transfer it now. So if they want to give me in Bitcoin, USDT, ETH, doesn't matter. I can figure it out. But yeah, I think that'd be cool.
And this is actually probably an easy question. I mean, I'm guessing it is, but it's like USDC, the US dollar coin. So this is a global coin, right? Like you can convert your ETH into USDC no matter where you're at in the world, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Very nice.
Seems
Well, I
to
think
be
that's
one of the most popular ones for sure.
yeah, USDC, USDT. I think it's pretty bullish the fact that you would be interested. And like we said, we saw Odell Beckham. He took half of his or maybe his whole salary in Bitcoin, which
Yep.
actually tanked. There's a lot of NFL players: Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala. We saw our boy, another Canadian. Shout out to the Canadians, Drake. Put $500,000 on Odell Beckham to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. That hit. Did he also bet on the Rams to win? I think he put another 500,000 in Bitcoin on the Rams to win. So shout out to Drake. First off, the guy doesn't miss. He doesn't miss on his songs. He doesn't miss on what he's doing in the media, and he also doesn't miss on his crypto investments. Now, look, I think a lot of people are closet crypto holders, if you will. Like, not a lot of people talk about it. I don't know why. You're one of really the first main athletes and like the first NHL players and hockey players that is fully open about their crypto investments and talking about cryptocurrencies. Is there a stigma, would you say, for athletes? Like, you said like about half of them are talking about it, but not a lot of people are posting about it. What's the stigma there, and why did you kind of decide to take your Twitter page and social media platforms to go all in on crypto?
Yeah, I think hockey players especially, like they kind of hang out in the background. They're not too vocal. We kind of just we really rely on not being the center of attention, kind of being team guys. And even like social media, there's not a lot of hockey players especially that like to do social media, like to do Twitter, Instagram. There's only a select few on each team. And I think I was one of the first guys on Twitter as a professional hockey player, and I think I got in like 2009, and I like really grew my following and realized that you could really interact with your fans and also grow a business, brand yourself. And I've done a few different things with my Twitter and Instagram, but I think finally, like I'm at the point in my career where I can play hockey and still do some other stuff on the side. And and crypto just seems to be like a very interesting thing for me. I've never been a guy that's been like too into like stocks and stuff like that. There's a lot of guys that love it in the sports world and think about it all the time. I just kind of all I cared about was hockey, and like for me, getting into crypto and realizing the power of it, and just starting to tweet about it and join the community. It's just been so much fun, and I think I think you're starting to see more players talk about NFTs, and maybe not as much their crypto holdings or anything like that, but it's going to be more and more, I think, in the future.
Yeah, I think you're leading the pack. I'll say that because it's like I follow a lot of athletes. We have Ian Heinich. He's a UFC fighter, top 20 middleweight. He's going to be coming on the stream tomorrow. We got it stacked with pro athletes this week. We have you today, Ian Heinich tomorrow. Now, obviously, I think the hockey's a little bit different than UFC, and I'm excited to talk to Ian about this because their main thing, UFC, obviously, Jake Paul's talking about it, the fighter pay, right? So it's like these fighters, I see a lot more UFC fighters getting into crypto because maybe the pay isn't that great. And like I said, I don't have all the details, but it's like it's not as good as other sports leagues. But it's just it's a good way to leverage your platform, right? You have a big platform, you have a massive platform. Coming up on 1 million followers here on Twitter will probably happen here in 2022. But I mean, man, you have 867,000 followers. Like that is a major city that follows you online. How much would you say this is probably a majority hockey players, right? Or hockey fans, I would imagine, since you just got into crypto here. But I'm sure your following has grown exponentially since you started posting more crypto content in May.
Yeah, it really has. Like I couldn't believe all the engagement that I was getting for my crypto posts, and all the people that just kind of came out of nowhere just to follow me and see what I was investing in, and seeing what I was buying. But yeah, it's just a crazy world to have something like that where you can speak about what you're interested in, and like in the beginning, I remember just not knowing anything about
Yeah.
crypto at all, and just trying to talk to everybody to figure out what it's like. And then you have brands and companies, crypto companies, approaching you, asking you to tweet about stuff, and you don't know what's real, what's a scam, like what's good. So it definitely took me a little while, and now I feel like I've finally been able to do my due diligence, which projects I should be working with. I've gotten much better at trading myself, and do a lot of stuff on Telegram now, and it's just a crazy world. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things you kind of just have to throw yourself into. Like when I first started making crypto content, like I wasn't an expert in any way, but it's like you learn as you go, right? I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
You learn what to look for, what projects to look for, how to like. When I first started, I was like, I don't know how to use Uniswap. Like it was confusing for me, right? And now it's like you understand how to do it as an expert. And there's a lot of applications. That's why I'm looking forward to SataMask. I know you either are. I'm pretty sure you're still an investor in Saitama, but SataMask is coming out, and the goal of SataMask is to make it a lot easier and more simple for people to invest into cryptocurrency. Would you say that that's a something that's slowing it down right now, the simplicity of investing, because it still is complicated for people that aren't familiar with in using these detailed applications like Uniswap and PancakeSwap?
Yeah, for sure. I think the barrier to entry is really difficult right now. Trying to explain it to, my grandpa who's, 87 years old, and it took him a little while, and you had to walk him through it, and, trying to get all the wallets set up and all the different currencies and all that stuff. But it seems like there's a lot of projects that are doing good, mainstreaming it, and making it a lot easier. And Russ over at DataMask, he seems like a great leader, and I've been enjoying being an investor early on, and seeing what they bring to the community. And the big thing is education. Trying to
Yeah.
get people to stay away from the scams, and trying to get people to learn how to use these wallets, and make it a little bit simpler.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Russ. One of the reasons I like him is because they're doxxed. They're transparent. They're on
Right.
AMAs, good times and bad. Like Saitama is going through a little bit of a rough patch right now. Like I'm pretty sure everybody will agree with that. compared to where it was, but I still enjoy, and you could probably respect this as an athlete, playing at a competitive level. Like, you still have to show up even when shit's not going your way. Like, I'm sure in your hockey career, because I can speak on in my baseball career, like I've had rough patches where things aren't going well, but you still have to show up. For you especially, like, you still have to do your post-game interviews and talk to the media and stuff like that. But I want to ask you about that, because obviously you invest in a lot of tokens, you talk about a lot of tokens. And there's this weird thing going on where some developers are doxxed, fully public, other ones are not. What does it mean to you? Is this something that you look for? I mean, do you feel peace of mind when you see that a developing team is doxxed, or does it not really matter to you when you make your investments?
Yeah, I think it really helps, obviously, to have that security and to have a face behind the coin. I mean, it goes a long way, but at the same time, on the developer side, if you're a developer and you got a lot of money, your face is out there, you're probably a little bit worried about your safety. So I get why some people don't dox, and there are a lot of successful projects out there that probably don't have doxed devs and people on the team, but it's definitely a lot safer in my mind to invest in projects that are doxed.
Yep, exactly. And dude, I don't believe that I would dox. First off, I'll never start a token, but if I ever did, I don't think I would, man. Like, you see, and I use Say Tom as an example, but it's like, because I cover that token most frequently. But when the token was going up, dude, they were heroes. I honestly, they
Right.
might have put statues of Russ out in Greece as a Greek god. Like, that's what he was, right? And then, what happens in life is, like, it doesn't always go as planned. The price started going down, and it's like now they're the villains, right? And they're doing everything wrong.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think I would personally do it. Respect to the devs that do docs. I think it does add a lot, but personally, I don't think I ever would, just because, like, you're right, man. It's like, it's crypto. There's a lot of crazy people out there, and when money's involved, it can definitely get a little bit tricky as well. But for you personally, obviously you're playing hockey over in Germany. You probably have, and look, we have a fellow hockey player here. Joseph said, fellow hockey player and currently stationed in Germany, will definitely see and support a fellow crypto enthusiast when your team plays Adler Mannheim next.
Yeah, they're a good team. We always have a good battle against them, so it'll be a good game.
And that's funny. I was actually like going to this question before I even saw that there. Shout out to Joseph for the comment right there. But are you starting to see, like, when you go to games? I mean, are you starting to see people recognize you in the crypto space, or is it mostly like still hockey focused? I would imagine you have a big following, and there's a lot of people in Germany that invest. Like, are people now recognizing you as like a crypto influencer, if you will?
I feel like it's mostly still online for me. A lot of people, the Twitter profile and the big red jersey that I have or whatever on there. And here it's just, I'm a German hockey player. My jersey's blue. I'm obviously, love playing hockey every day and got some great fans here. But I'm sure it just feels like two separate worlds. There's like a crypto and online world, and then I have my hockey world. So it hasn't combined quite yet.
I think it will. And shout out to Foxy, said what up to Jake and Zach. I think that, man, I'm in the crypto space. Like, I would consider you a really big influencer in the crypto space. It's like your profile holds a lot of weight. A lot of people respect you and listen to your plays and calls. So I think that you're doing a good job, and I want to see more athletes do it as well. Now, you are the first ever first round draft pick to come on to the Jake Gagan show. So I'm excited about that. I got to walk through there. Obviously, I think your career is a little bit different than people do it here in America, but can you kind of walk us through what that was like? So I'm pretty sure you played amateur before getting drafted in the first round. Can you kind of walk us through that journey and that process of, when you first started playing professional into when you ultimately got drafted in the first round?
Yeah, so I played junior hockey up in Canada. I had chances to go to college in the U.S. and play, but I felt like I kind of wanted to fast track it a little bit and just go straight to the pros. So I got drafted when I was 18 or 19 and spent 1 year in the minors, and then basically went to the NHL. So it was kind of a quick thing. I was a young kid, playing against men, and one of the most physical sports in the world. But it was a lot of fun, and now I think I've spent 8 years or so in North America, and now the last 3 or 4 years I've been in Europe and played a little bit in Russia and Switzerland, and now I'm in Germany. So it's been a bit of a crazy career, and I think I'm on my 14th year pro, and hopefully got a few more years left. So it's been fun.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool. Like the fact that you're using a game that you love to travel the world and see the world and get paid to do it. Like it's something that you won't regret. Now I'm pretty sure I looked up, unless Wikipedia lies, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Was your first ever NHL goal scored against Martin Brodeur?
Yeah, that's right.
That's big
One of the
time.
best goalies of all time. It was a pretty special day.
Walk me through that, because I'm actually interested. I just saw it online. But Martin Brodeur is like Zach said, one of the best goalies of all time. Your first ever NHL goal. He's on the New Jersey Devils. Walk me through that. What was that like, scoring your first ever goal in the NHL, which is big, but then to score it against arguably one of the GOATs, the greatest goalies of all time. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was a home game. I was playing in Carolina at the time against New Jersey, and I think it ended up being the very first goal of the game. One of my best friends, still best friends to this day, Brett Carson, he shot the puck towards Brodeur, and I tipped it, and then it kind of went as a rebound, kind of close to Marty, and I like backhanded it over and put it in the net, and then I celebrated like it was like the overtime winner of the Stanley Cup final, but it was just like a random regular season game in February, and pretty special moment.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I would have went crazy. I mean, like your first, like that's probably a moment you've dreamed about forever, like your first NHL goal, and then to do it to somebody you've probably watched on TV and championships and the playoffs, like the goat, right, of goalies. Like I come, like I told you before we started, like I'm from Tampa, and Tampa's a big hockey town, Tampa Bay Lightning. I think it's bigger than football. Obviously now with Tom Brady there, or he was there, football really started coming up, but Tampa's a huge hockey town. I grew up watching the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're obviously in your guys' division when you played for Carolina, in that same division. So hockey was big there, but yeah, that must've been a dream to score that. And then, yeah, man, pretty exciting. I know you bounced around. Now you're traveling the world doing the crypto thing. Look, I'm sitting here in California right now. I'll say you're in a pretty unique position. Like, how cool that you get to travel around, play the sport that you still love to play, get paid to do that, have the crypto thing going. It's pretty cool, but these are avenues that you've created for yourself. Like, you don't have to be a crypto influencer and make crypto content online. I'm sure you're doing well off without it, and you're probably busy enough by not doing it, but you decided to do it. What was that main thing though? Like, when did you take that first leap into the crypto space? Like, I know you found crypto back in May, but there's a decision that has to be made to say, hey, I'm going to start posting crypto content and start retweeting and connecting with these devs. I mean, like, when did that come to play for you?
Yeah, I think anything I do, it seems like I just dive in. Like I
Yeah.
remember being early on social media and Twitter, I kind of just dove in, and I think that's why I have the following that I do today. And it's the same with hockey. I was so into it, growing up, and still am to this day. And it's all I ever really thought about. So, and then now, getting into crypto, making pretty good money as an influencer. It's just kind of crazy to get into this world, and but it's very similar. I just dove right in. I wanted to talk to as many people and learn as quick as I can. I remember in the summertime, when I wasn't mid-season, I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for launches, and you know going to sleep pretty late, and trying to find times to nap, because crypto really never sleeps. So it's been more of a challenge now that I'm playing games every other day and practices, and back in the regular season, and trying to manage it with crypto. But it's definitely doable. You can open your computer or laptop or phone, and do it from anywhere in the world, and
Yeah.
you pick when you get to do it. Like, there's always opportunities for new coins launching and NFTs, and you can also just put it to the side if you want. So it's nice to have that flexibility, and almost like a second job, and it gives me something to do when I'm not practicing.
I like that, and I like what you said. You can do it anywhere in the world at any time, and it's really available. And like, this is the only time. If you were playing hockey 20 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do this. Like, the internet wasn't here, crypto wasn't even around. So it's like, we're in this unique time. Like, it's crazy. Like, for me, like, you're in Germany, I'm here in California. We have people tuning in from all over the world, watching this stream, and it's just a very very unique opportunity. Foxy, I saw him saying that he was a hockey advocate, and he asked a question for you, Zach. He said, "Do your peers ask you for crypto advice in the locker room?"
Yeah, they do. They're always wanting to go for lunch and always asking which coins to get into. And I think early on I was a little bit hesitant just to tell them certain things because you never know, especially with these new coins that I've been trying to find. But I've been feel like I've been getting better at trading. A lot of my buddies are a little bit of gamblers too, kind of like me. So we've been getting more and more into it, and guys are finally starting to make some good money. So it's been fun.
Yeah, it's a fine line. It's like, obviously I have my friends, they reach out to me, and it's like, I've made my friends a lot of money. I've lost my friends a lot of money. I've made myself a lot of money. I've lost myself a lot of money. But I always just tell them, like, look, dude, there's a high probability that this coin goes to zero. So, but there's also a high probability that you turn $1,000 into 15,000, right? So it's one of those things I just always tell them beforehand. Like I said, some have come back for more, saying, "Jake, what else do you have?" And other ones are like, "Dude, I'm never talking to you again." I'm like, "Bro, it's just part of the game." So it's like one of those things. It's like, but that's the space that we're in, man. It's you. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, there's no sure bets. You could say that this project has a docs dev team, the best use case. So many influencers are behind it, money's behind it, and then the market goes down into a bear cycle and it goes to zero, right? So it's this wild place. Would you consider yourself, though, a gambling man? Obviously, crypto is a gamble, but are you someone that gets excited by the bright lights of Las Vegas and playing blackjack or whatnot? Have you always been a competitive person in gambling?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been like that. Like I even remember like when I was young playing like computer games that were just like blackjack, and
Yeah.
my parents would be like, just get off the computer, and they'd like limit my time, and because I'd get so into it. But it's just like anything, I would get so into hockey, so into video games, just wanting to be the best at everything. And I think like gambling kind of comes with it. You want to figure it out. You want to solve the math equation. You want to try and make some money. And I love going to Vegas. I've always been a big blackjack guy, and I think it's helped me with crypto because you got to be able to take your losses here and there, and sometimes you might win the jackpot here and there too.
Exactly. That was my next question, because it's like we're in this interesting time, and someone just put a comment there like crypto or Bitcoin and Ether pumping, alts are pumping. Like, we're in the green today. You check last night, we were in the red. It's the most volatile market. As an investor like yourself, and I want to get to your perspective on it, long term, short term. But as an investor like yourself, I mean, are you looking at this on a daily basis? Are you constantly looking at the price, or are you someone that's more bullish? Like, hey, I know Ethereum's going to go up long term. I'm holding. I'm not really tripping when it goes down to 2,400 or 2,300. Like, how do you kind of stomach the volatility? Because it's something that a lot of new investors are having an issue with, and it's something that it's part of the game that we play here in crypto.
Yeah, I think early on I was checking it quite a bit. I remember asking my dad like, oh, like we're down 10% today, or we're up 5%, and then the crazy crash happened, and he's like, Zach, like just wait 10 years, don't worry about it. Yeah, it may be
Yeah.
down 50%, but now I think just being like on my phone and being part of the community, everybody's talking about the prices, and it's not like I put too much weight into it. I'm still watching YouTube videos and still trying to learn, but at the same time, I've come to learn pretty quickly that you got to be able to handle the volatility, and you got to be able to DCA into a lot of these coins, and just kind of look at the big picture. And it definitely gets stressful at times. You're looking at Bitcoin and ETH, and you're looking at the market. You're looking at Ukraine and Russia, and like just random stuff that can affect your Bitcoin because everything follows, and then the meme coins hurt too. So like it's just crazy, And I feel like a lot of my time in crypto, I've been in a bull market, so I don't want to be part of a bear market, but it's definitely going to happen, and you never know when it's going to come.
Yeah, and that's to be honest, that's when the money is made. It's like it's tough. I always when I invest, I always do the opposite of what my gut tells me, right? Like when oh my God, this is going to the moon, let's go. I'm like, okay, I don't want to. I want to put more money in because I think it's going to go, but I need to take profits. And when everybody's like, Ukraine, Russia, it's going to zero. It's going to zero. The crypto's going to zero. I'm like, all right, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Like, it's time to put more money in. I want to ask you this because not a lot of people talk about this. Not a lot of influencers talk about this. And it's something I've always preached since day one, taking profits. Like when you're up big on a token, let's say you put in $1,000 and it turns into 10,000. Are you the type of person that's going to diamond hand it all the way, or do you kind of take some profits and let the rest ride? Like, what's kind of your investing strategy? And we'll talk about like the altcoin, meme coin sector here. But let's say you put in $1,000 and it turns into 15,000. Like, what's kind of your strategy that you've had over the past year?
Yeah, I think early on, I was not taking profits at all. Like I was just, letting a few random coins run up and run down, and
Yeah.
maybe the odd little bit of profit taking here and there. And that's actually really worked out for me on a couple ones. Some end up going to zero, but then you have the odd one that 100x or 1000x. So it's but now I think that I'm going like more day to day, week to week. There's new coins getting launched all the time. I'm trying to get better with taking profits as it goes. So I think for the most part, like a lot of these new coins that launch, they might be around for 2 to 3 weeks and then they die out. Yeah, you might get lucky and find a baby Doge that's around for almost 8 months now. You got a Saitama that's been around for a long time. A lot of these new coins, realistically, the shelf life isn't that long, so taking profits is important, and I feel like getting I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, it's something that not a lot of people talk about. You mentioned Baby Doge. I remember finding Baby Doge on like day one. I stayed away. I was like, dude, I'm like, it felt like a scam, and it turned out to not be. It turned out to be a very, very well built ecosystem and a very profitable and successful meme token. But you can see here, just because the name Baby Doge, I was like, are you kidding me? There's a Baby Doge. I know you
Yep.
invest in this token. I'm pretty sure they hit. I think it's like I'm pretty sure they hit over 1 million holders, Baby Dogecoin. So you
Yeah,
got
they
into
did.
Baby
Yep.
Dogecoin pretty early, right? And look at this, almost 1 million followers on Twitter here for Baby Dogecoin.
Crazy. I think I got in it maybe the first week, maybe the first couple of days, and
Wow.
I just kept holding, and then a month later, when Elon Musk tweeted
Yep.
about it, it just went crazy. I
It
I
went.
couldn't believe it. I was looking at my wallet like, is this really happening right now? And that was like honestly like maybe my first month or two into crypto, and it was pretty crazy.
That's how it works, man. Like it's insane how you can just put a little bit of money in and turn it into a lot of money, and also the power
Right.
of Elon Musk and even the power of influencers. I see it when like let's say other influencers make a video, and it's like it has some sort of effect. But obviously, Elon Musk is that man moves markets. But yeah, the tweet with Baby Dogecoin, it sent that thing parabolic. Now I know you got into Saitama pretty early as well. What are your thoughts on Saitama, where it was previously and where it's going?
I still listen into quite of the spaces. I think everybody is just waiting for how awesome Sata Mass is going to be, and it's just you don't find too many communities that are that powerful and that loud and just all over social media. So I think that's one that I'm probably going to hold long term. Kind of similar to Baby Doge, to get 1 million holders. That's just absolutely crazy. And then you also have just Shiba. It's a big one. Everybody's talking about it. And then now you have like coins launching every day. That's Shiba Doge and
Yeah.
Shinja Doge and Shintama and all these
Yeah.
crazy names that are like just combos. But you're bringing the communities kind of together, and people are making money off of Elon Musk tweets, and it's all the trends. Like they say that memes have no utility, but the community is the utility, and the names, and just watching the charts go up. It's pretty cool to watch.
100%. And you're right. It was like Shiba Doge. That was like really the first one to do it, bringing together Shiba and Dogecoin. And they have badass NFTs, and it's like this token's actually
Yeah.
doing well, and it's like a docs dev team, and it's legit. And I was like, okay, this is impressive. But you're right. Like we're starting to see Tanobi, Shintama, Shib. I mean, man, there's so much. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? The most recent launches of tokens that are kind of just taking the names of these two tokens and bringing them together. Is it something you like? Is it something that you're against? Like, what are your honest thoughts on what's going on right now in the crypto space in that sector?
I think it's good for like a short-term play. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's one that's going to be something that you want to invest in and hold for a year, but Maybe a week or two, a couple days. Obviously, not financial advice for anything that I've said today, but
Of course.
I have a lot of fun with the quick gains. I think a lot that's what a lot of people are looking for. New launches every day, and sometimes you're gonna do well, and sometimes you're gonna get wrecked. But it's a lot of fun doing it.
I can see, dude. I can see the competitiveness, like from the hockey side and also like the gambling side too.
Yeah.
Keep it ratchet. To smash that like button. Thank you both for the stream. Of course, we're trying to bring more good streams and have you meet more people. It's like you see Zach tweet, you see him on here. This is a good question as well. You see Zach tweet, you see him on here, but it's nice to meet someone face to face. And this is our first time meeting, and I'm happy to have you on here, man. And really appreciate you taking the time. But this is a good one from Foxy. Do you gamble on any brand new tokens? I'm guessing the answer is yes to that. I'm pretty sure he's mentioned that a couple times. But have you ever been rugged? Have you ever been part of a rug pull where you've invested and it's went from X amount to $0?
Yeah, for sure. In the beginning, it was pretty often. Maybe a couple times a month, and
Oh man.
um, it took a little while, but at the same time, you end up winning the most on a lot of those early plays if you can get in. So I think nowadays I do a lot of research. I only buy from certain devs. There's all these different like honeypot.is you can or .is you can just put the contracts in there and
Mhm.
see if tokens are sellable, and obviously can tell you right away if it's a rug or not. But and then sometimes it says it's not a rug, and sure enough, a week later it does end up rugging. But I think you're not a true crypto degen until you've been part of a few rugs here and there. It's just part of the process.
Yep, it sucks. I've been a part of a few. I've invested like, and I've never been hit like big time. But I've invested. I think my biggest one was like 3 or 4 thousand bucks, which is not that much. And it went to $2, and I was like, I remember waking up and I saw, I was like, what the hell just happened? Twitter account deleted, websites deleted. It's
Yeah.
trending on Twitter, and it's a bad feeling. It's like, but you're right. It's part of the space right now. I don't know if it will be part of the space forever. Obviously, we saw what that Bitcoin seizure the U.S. did, the Department of Justice did. Look, this stuff's trackable. Like, so even if you get away with it, right, for a little bit, like this couple stole, I think, $4.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. They did it in 2016. They ended up getting caught about a week ago. So it's like, look, these people are like justice will be served for these people. Like, I'm going to go out and say it. Like, everything is trackable. So if you transfer that money to your bank account at some point, like, it's going to be traceable. Obviously, they just have bigger things. I think the U.S. just wanted to become one of the top Bitcoin holders in the world, so they went after these guys. That's just how the U.S. does it. They play dirty over here. But yeah, I think that justice will be served at some point. Now, I don't know if you saw the news. This just came out probably about an hour or so ago. But Chase Bank has officially entered the metaverse. They bought a plot of land in the Decentraland metaverse. And man, they're actually very, very in depth with what they got going on here. Let me put us to the side over here. But like I said, they're very, very in depth with what they like. This is something methodical. So you can see here, JP Morgan is the first bank to enter the metaverse, looks at business opportunities. They bought a lounge. So this is their lounge where you can go into the metaverse. It's called Onyx Lounge. It's in a plot of land in Decentraland. It looks dope from what I'm seeing so far. But something that really caught my name, and they released a white paper on how you can build a business in the metaverse. But look at this. Christine Joy, her title at JP Morgan Chase is the head of crypto and the metaverse. Like, they have a sector for crypto in the metaverse at JP Morgan. So this is something that I'm like, damn, they're the first bank to do it. But these companies that are taking stabs at NFTs and metaverse, like, it's becoming very profitable. We saw Adidas do it, very successful. We saw Under Armour do it with Steph Curry, very successful. We're seeing Nike make their fourth acquisition ever. They had Converse, they had Jumpman, they have Nike. Now they have Artifact, one of the biggest NFT companies. So as you're sitting here in 2022, February 15th, you're seeing the news with JP Morgan Chase entering the metaverse. Is this something that you believe we're going to see a lot more of from 2022 to 2025, whether it's NFTs, crypto, or metaverse, but these mainstream companies, these big companies start to enter the crypto space?
Yeah, it seems to be going that direction. I think one of the biggest ones was obviously Facebook renaming, rebranding to
Crazy.
Meta, and it just seemed like everybody has been talking about that ever since. And
Yeah.
I think for me, I made it my goal in 2022 to really focus in on Metaverse and NFTs. It just seems to be huge. VR, the way that you can go in and play some of these games. You can go into a casino and play blackjack with your crypto. Like that's just crazy to me. And to
With your
see big
crypto?
brands, yeah, you can
Dude.
you can do all that stuff in these metaverses. So I'm definitely still a newbie in that field, but it's good to see the big brands that hopping in as well.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like I'm going deep into NFTs right now. I'm going deep into metaverse tokens and the metaverse as well. And like it doesn't necessarily like I don't want it, right? Like you and I, both athletes, it's like our life is pretty good out here in the real world, right? But I understand where it's going. Like, dude, there's 7 billion people in here, and a majority of people want like they might not like the life that they currently live, right? They might want to go into that space and have a fun life where they have all these like dope friends and cool collectibles and whatnot. Like this is where the space is going. I don't like I said, I love my life. I live here in Orange County, right by the beach. Like life is good here, but I understand where it's going. That's why I'm kind of diving in. Let's talk about NFTs. How do you view them? Why are they something that's on your radar? I mean, like, is it just because they're collectibles? Do you also see where the that status symbol is coming? Like, let's talk about NFTs. Why are you bullish on them?
Yeah, it really just seems like a flex at this point.
Yep.
Obviously you can make some pretty good money on it, but you just look online, on Twitter, all the people who are changing their profile pictures to NFTs, like that's just a flex, and you just see it more and more. I think like coming from being like a Call of Duty player and like playing some of those games, everybody wants to be the best at those games and are buying different things to get better in the games.
Yep.
Now it's just kind of more in the real world where you can make actual real money if you have awesome, Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunk. And I think it's funny, like people who go and buy like a $700,000 yacht in the metaverse that you can't technically use, but like I said, it's a flex, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of people coming on your yacht.
You're going to use it one day. And you're right, man. It really is a flex. Like, and it's a way to make money too. Like it's an investment, right?
Right.
Like I bought two mutant apes,
Yeah.
and because look, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's like right now where I'm at, like spending $400,000 on a Bored Ape is just it's a lot for me, right? Like that's a lot. It was tough to justify, especially when I found the Bored Apes when they were 0.2 ETH, and people were like, Jake,
Oh,
you got to
wow.
buy a Bored Ape 0.2 ETH. I was like, dude, I'm not spending $600 on a monkey. I was like, no way. And then what it turned
Yeah.
into. So look, you can't win them all. I found other tokens and projects pretty early. Shout out to Mr. Smurf. He's back. He's the number one donator on the Jake Gagan Show. Maybe Chase should check out our Hold Vault token as well. Zach, have you heard of Hold Vault token? And shout out to my guy, Mr. Smurf.
I don't believe so.
We're,
Hold Bolt.
we're gonna check it out after this. He honestly donates a lot to the stream, so we'll check it out. But yeah, I bought a couple mutant apes because of the sister effect, right? Like, look, not everybody in the world can afford a Bored Ape. Like a lot of celebrities are getting in. You got Paris Hilton, Jimmy Fallon, Gunna, Lil Baby, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Steph Curry. Like the list goes on and on. The way that I saw the mutant ape and why I was able to justify, spending, I think the first one I bought was around 12 ETH, and the second one was right around 15 ETH or whatever it was. The reason I justified this is because look, not everyone can afford a Bored Ape. Not everyone can afford a Porsche, right? It's like you kind of go to that next status symbol. So I do believe that mutant apes will be the next one to pop. It's part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem, and that was my thoughts, right? And maybe you can agree. It's like there's only 10,000 Bored Apes. There's 18,000 mutant apes, but like I said, not everyone can afford a Bored Ape. But you do see where I'm kind of getting with, like, you have that, oh, well, I can't afford a Bored Ape, but this is the same company. It's the sister project. Like, let me buy one of these. And since I had that brain fart, we saw the floor get all the way to, I think, 27 ETH. Obviously a small pullback, but that was kind of my thoughts on why I invested in the mutant apes, as an investment.
Yeah, that's smart. And it seems like if you kind of get on with that community, you get a few perks here and there, you get some whitelist opportunities. And I think that was a great play by you. And it just seems like everybody wants an ape or a punk. And I think I'm definitely building my research and trying to do my due diligence, and maybe I'll snag one of those too.
You got to. I'll send you some good ones on Rarity Tools. But speaking of the NFT Flex, I had to be part of that, and there's my Hate Beast that I bought. These
Like
things are
that.
sick too. Yeah, Hate Beasts are like the 3D art and they just partnered with, I retweeted it earlier today. They just partnered with Coinbase. So like they're now on Coinbase NFTs, but the Hate Beast are legit. Not sure what the floor is yet, but they making just like the 3D art, man. And like, yeah, like the world is moving into this metaverse space. Like the reason that I'm bullish on it is because one day when Zach comes over for a beer in the metaverse at my house, because I'm gonna buy a plot of land in Decentraland right by Chase Bank. I got to get it, but I'm gonna have all my NFTs on my wall. And you're right. Like right now, it's like, what do they serve? We don't really know. Some have utility, but as of today, it's just a huge flex, just like anything else in life, right? Like why do people wear Rolexes? Why do people drive nice cars? It's like to show that you have the status, and it's like it's a status symbol, and it is somewhat of a flex.
For sure. And 10 years down the road, it might be worth, triple or double that, or more. So
exactly.
It's kind of cool to have an investment like that you can flex, and whereas a car, for sure you're going to lose at least half of that. So that's
exactly. It's insane. Yeah, NFTs are still new, but I remember when they came out a year ago, like I said, like I didn't really understand it. But when I first heard about crypto in 2016, I really didn't understand it. And guess what? I didn't participate. So that was my thing with NFTs. I was like, look, I don't get it right now. I get it a little bit, and I understand it fully now. But when I first found them, I was like, I'm just going to buy them and see. And dude, they've doubled in value since then. And now I'm starting to understand the ecosystem. So kind of how you said when you first started your Twitter, you just went all in. That's the same thing here. It's like, look, like I didn't get it. You didn't understand how to do Twitter and crypto Twitter when you first started, and now you're learning as you go. It's the same thing with NFTs for me, moving forward, and kind of how I view it. Now, you said that you hold a lot of Ethereum, hold some BNB. Let me ask you about the so-called Ethereum killers, the different tokens that are kind of doing the same thing as Ethereum. You have Polkadot, you have Solana, you have AVAX, you have a ton of different tokens that are trying to create their own blockchains, and a lot of them are in the top 10. Do you ever see Ethereum getting overtaken, or do you kind of see Ethereum as the top dog in this sector of the crypto space?
I think if they can't figure out their gas fee problem, then I'm sure a lot of these tokens will catch up and blow by them. But if they can figure it out sooner than later, it just seems like, especially all the NFTs, it seems like all the money's in ETH. A lot of the new tokens that are getting created are on the ETH chain. But I think Binance is coming strong. You got Polygon, you got AVAX, you got all these great coins that are faster, that are better in some ways, but it's tough to beat out the OGs for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you put it on paper, like if you take yourself out of the crypto space, like we understand what's going on, but if you put it on paper, it's like Solana, it's much faster, it's much cheaper, it's much safer, right? Although Ethereum is pretty safe with the transactions, but yeah, like what's the gas fee on Solana? Under $1, $2, and it's like Ethereum sometimes it'll be $700. But ultimately, I think it just comes down to the fact that like people are comfortable with it. It's a trusted name in the source, but they're always saying like ETH 2.0 is coming out. I saw a video the other day of Vitalik Buterin. I think it was like 2018. He's like ETH 2.0 is coming out, and here we are in 2022, 4 years later, still not out yet. I mean, it's just it's weird. Like, but I think also one of the reasons that it's so dominant is like a lot of people own ETH. Like a lot of people own ETH from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it's like, it's easier to use your ETH that you own rather than buying Solana or BNB at face value. But it's something that's going to be interesting here. Personally, I don't think that ETH is ever going to get overtaken. But what I do believe is going to happen is that it's going to have healthy competition. And as you know, you're a professional athlete, and competition's good. It's going to force you to be better.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with that for sure. I mean, just the amount of people that own ETH right now, it's crazy. But at the same time, it is a rich people's game. You have to be willing to pay those fees, and you have to be willing to take those chances and get those gains, because I play around a little bit with the Binance Smart Chain, but you just really don't see the crazy gains that you do and volume that you do on OpenSea and with the ETH stuff. So I'm sure those tokens will have a shot, and we'll see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it does come down to volume, and most tokens are launching on the ETH blockchain, and you're 100% right, bro. You are 100% right. It is a rich person's game, especially on the Ethereum blockchain. It's like, look, if I'm going to sell let's say $200 worth of crypto and take profits and the gas fee's 120, it doesn't make sense. But if I'm going to sell $15,000 worth of crypto and the gas fee's 120, well, then it makes perfect sense. So that's something that I've noticed, right? Like I have friends in the space that are like, "Look, I'm going to take some profits." And it's like, wait, I'm taking $200 of profit, but I have to pay $150 to take it. Like there's a $50 profit. And then you have to factor in that in US, you're paying taxes on that. It's like, it's tough, man. It's tough. And I think you're right. We have to see the gas fees come down before, I don't know, not before it becomes mainstream, but before it's an even playing field, if it ever will be. If it ever will be.
Yeah, NFTs will completely blow up if they can figure out the gas fees. There'll be a lot more opportunities to make money. Yeah, you might not hold as long because you don't have to pay the fee, but it'll just make it a lot easier for everybody to get involved. And yeah, just thinking about the taxes and when you're buying in, you got a fee. When you're selling, you got a fee. It's just crazy. But luckily in Germany, if you hold your crypto for over a year, there's no tax. So I kind of like being a German resident right now. So
damn, bro, good. There's no tax on crypto if you hold for over a year?
Yeah, no capital gains. So it's good. Wow,
that's massive. That is like, that's huge. I think if you hold for over a year in America, it goes from like 45% to 30%. So that's how we do it here.
Terrible, but
not terrible, but it's obviously not like Germany. I want to ask you a question too. Obviously, you have a couple more years. It sounded like on your hockey career still playing, but after and you've lived all over. You've lived in Canada, America, Germany, Switzerland, Russia, I think you said as well. Do you ever see yourself as, I think I do see you kind of being a crypto guy, like, and probably having like a YouTube channel and doing this full time after the hockey career is over. Obviously, you'll probably have a lot of opportunities, but do you ever see yourself establishing residency in a place like Puerto Rico or a place like El Salvador that has 0% tax on capital gains? Or where do you kind of see yourself going in the future?
Yeah, actually, I was just in Portugal, and they have no crypto tax there either. So I think that's definitely something to think about down the line, especially if I stay in the crypto space. But for me, I feel like I still got a few years left playing hockey. It's nice to be in Germany where I don't have to worry about that tax and stuff. And by then, who knows? There's going to be a lot of regulations coming in and a lot of different things happen over the next few years. But I think right now I'm just kind of enjoying doing the crypto stuff and also playing hockey. And we'll see what happens in the next few years. I think it'd be tough for me to give up hockey completely. It's just always been my number one passion, and I'd love to be a coach or GM or scout or something one day. And even then, hopefully I'll still be able to do some crypto too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's smart. It's like, you probably love it, man. And it's a fun, exciting sport. I mean, dude, you guys are skating around on rollerblades, shooting a hard ass puck into a small net with a human in front of it. Not only that, but you guys are allowed to fight on the ice. Like, it's a wild ass sport, and one of the most exciting to watch.
Yeah, we pretty much grow up on the ice in Canada. I think I started skating when I was 2, and it's just always just been such a fun game for us to play. So it's great to be able to do it for a living.
I got to ask, yeah, dude, it's probably exciting. Like I said, like the fact that you're able to travel the world. I have a lot of buddies in baseball that are in Australia and all these different places traveling. But, what position are you in hockey?
I'm a centerman. So yeah, I play forward, try and score and set up plays. But yeah.
Have you been in any fights on the ice?
I'm not much of a fighter. I'll hit and play hard, but I've probably only been in like 2 or 3 fights my career.
What is it like when you see a teammate get into a fight? Like, does that shit fire you up?
Yeah, it really does. Guys get pretty pumped, especially when they win the fight or you're stepping up for a teammate that just got hit or something happened, and can definitely change the momentum of a game.
I can't believe that it's allowed, man. You watch, like, it's tough for me to even watch sports like football and basketball anymore because I just feel like there's so many flags. It's like flag, penalty, like you push LeBron a little bit too hard. LeBron, they didn't even touch LeBron, but he gets a flag because he's LeBron. It's like you watch hockey, guys are barreling at each other, hitting each other with sticks. Like, dude, it's a wild sport that you're in. Have you ever had any serious injuries, or have you remained healthy pretty much your whole career?
No, actually, I've been pretty lucky throughout about 14 years now. Before this year, I only missed like 5 or 6 games. So, like, knock on wood, hopefully my luck continues and I can play a few more years. And 32 is pretty old for hockey.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys that might play to their 40s, but I think I definitely got a few more years. I've been able to stay in good shape. And what sport did you play? What's your athletic background?
I played baseball my whole life. So pretty
Oh, nice.
much, yeah, I played baseball. I think I swam when I was younger, but I went to University of Kansas and played baseball after going to Santa Barbara. So baseball player,
Nice.
didn't take the route pro. I was a little bit more burnt out from it because I played year round, man. I played, fall, summer, winter in Florida because it's always sunny. And then when I
Hmm.
was in college, I was like, look, I'm ready to go pro in something else. And that ended up being sales for a couple of years, and then found crypto, started this YouTube channel, and actually just quit my job. I think my last day is actually today, technically 2/15.
Oh,
I put
wow.
my 2 weeks in on the first, so today's my last day at my
It's
real
crypto
job.
full time. Wow.
Crypto full time, YouTube full time. Yeah, I mean,
That's
I'm very
awesome.
blessed for the people that are supporting us here today. Everybody that's tuning into the streams, and also making the right investments this year. Finding a lot of tokens early, making the right investments. So I'm 26, so I was able to retire from the corporate world at 26, and just thankful for this
Mhm.
opportunity. The fact that we have YouTube and Twitter and all these things that I was able to go full time
So how long have you been in crypto then?
since 2017. Yeah, I found
20,
crypto in
long time.
2017. I found crypto in 2016, but like I said, I was like kind of like on the fence about it. I was like, because all the articles when you read about it, right? In the Wall
Yeah.
Street Journal, dude, it was all this is a scam. This is for drug dealers. This is money laundering. So I was kind of turned off. I think Bitcoin was around 1600 at that time, and then in 2017, I was still in college. So I didn't really have much money. Like that's after I left Kansas. I was still in college. Shout out to my guy Deej. But Bitcoin was around 3,200 and ETH was around 300 bucks the first day I invested. So I invested,
Uh,
then like I said, I didn't like we both said on the call, it's like it takes money to make money. I was still in college. I was like folding towels for 10 bucks an hour at the gym. But ultimately I was putting as much money as I could, and I turned a little bit of money into, a good amount of money for a 23-year-old kid. And then
mhm.
2017, the market just absolutely crashed. I held through it all, and it went down to less money than I invested. And I was like, okay. And I kind of lost faith in it. But back in 2020, when the US government printed $5 trillion out of thin air, I was like, wait, how is that possible? Like, what is this even backed by? Like the dollar used to be backed by gold. It's not anymore. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is going to lead to hyperinflation. So I made a decision back in March of 2020 when the pandemic happened to take a lot of my assets out of the stock market and put a majority of my net worth into crypto. And it turned out to be the best decision that I ever made. I think Bitcoin came down to $3,000 around that time. Ethereum, I don't even know, probably like around 100, 200 bucks. I put a good amount of money into crypto around then. And it's went up ever since, which obviously piqued my interest even more. And that somehow led to starting a YouTube channel and doing what we're doing on Twitter as well.
Wow. And so did your YouTube following come first or did your Twitter following come first? Like
I think
where would you big
they,
on first?
they both started around the same time. Like I didn't have a Twitter a year ago. I didn't have a YouTube channel a year ago. And I think I started my Twitter in January of 2021. So it's been about a year doing this, and it's grown exponentially. But I think they've went hand in hand, using the Twitter for tweets and, driving a lot of attention to the YouTube. And then the YouTube
Yeah.
kind of has just grown, organically as well. And, in a year's time, man, it's been pretty quick. Like, we just hit 100,000 on Twitter, and then 50,000, sitting a little over 50,000 on YouTube as well in just a year.
Wow, that's amazing. And yeah, you definitely have a lot of energy in your videos. I think I found you on Twitter early on. There's a lot of projects saying that they thought that you were great, wanted your service and wanted your promotion on YouTube. And I watched some of your videos. I was like, wow, like this guy gets it. He's not a crypto noob like me. So
Yeah.
I was learning some things early on.
Hell yeah, man. That's what it's about. It's all about collaboration. That's why I wanted to do this stream. Like, it's fun, It's like, and shout out to Christine, Jake, full time. Congrats. I love your channel. We love you too, Christine. But that's what it's all about, man. It's like, a lot of people see these like personas on Twitter or whatnot. And it's like, they kind of forget that we're real people. Like, we're trying to do our best. We're trying to bring good projects. Like, you and I are in a position where like every token in the world reaches out to us, right? And it's like our job to
Yeah.
vet them. And like, of course, we want to give, like, look, you have, let's see what it is, 800,000 867,000 people on Twitter. And you post crypto content. Like if I'm a developer, I'm reaching out to you, saying, "Hey Zach, like, can we get a promotion?" Right? Like that's something that happens. So it's like you want to make sure to bring good projects to your audience, but you're in a position where you want to utilize your platform. Like you've been doing this since 2009, building a Twitter. You have 867,000 followers, which is insane, dude. Like think about how many people that is. 867,000 is insane, and obviously you want to leverage your platform as well. So I think it's cool to have these conversations, and I always like to connect with athletes. I think we can relate on that. It's like athletes are built different. It's like those early morning weights, playing on a team, traveling, and I'm sure you have a ton of different experiences as well that are pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always like interacting with athletes, especially. You can see the competitiveness and the drive, and you can see it in crypto too. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I know we said we're going to be about an hour. I'm sorry, we're 47 seconds late. I like to be on it on the dot. But this is Zach Boychuk. If you guys have not, go give my guy a follow on Twitter. He posts great crypto content, great NFT content. You can see here he's a professional hockey player and part-time meme/NFT trader. You got to put in the laughing face there. ETH Maxi, proud ambassador of Locker and Overmoon BSC. Never financial advice. He has 867,000 followers, almost 868,000 followers, which will probably happen today. And guess what? 1 million is coming up soon. Zach, I appreciate you for coming on. To the people that are tuning in now and the people that are tuning in later, watching this at another time, what is one final message that you would say to the crypto people that follow your content?
I'd say have fun. I mean, that's always been my number one thing in everything. And I think when you're dealing with this amount of money and people are getting fired up, there's always like so much drama going on. I think you just got to take a step back. Everybody's in this together. We're all early. We're all gonna make it. And yeah, thanks for bringing me on today.
Sure, man. We'll do it again soon. I know we went live a little bit earlier than we do, but maybe when you travel back to Canada or the US, we'll do a later time slot, have a little party, bring that energy and get it going. But I appreciate it. To everybody that tuned in today, thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those watching at another time, this was a great interview with Zach Boychuk. It's good to get to know the man behind the Twitter page, ask him some questions, see how his brain works about taking profits and Ethereum. I saw the ETH Maxi on there, so I had to ask that question about the other tokens, but it was a great interview, man. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but the best in your crypto journey. I wish you nothing but the best in your hockey journey. And I'm here if you ever need anything, any questions, any advice, and I look forward to collaborating more in the future.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jake.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you tonight on another episode of The Jake Hagan Show. Peace out, everybody.